St. John 11th chapter, St. John 11th chapter, verse 1. We had a good teaching on Wednesday night concerning don't give up on it. Today we want to use the same scripture, but we want to turn it around and say, believe now. Believe when? Now. Believe now. So we want to talk about that. St. John 11th chapter, verse 1, in its entirety. So, Angie, you ready to read?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Angie, yeah. Thank God for the praise team. Wonderful songs. I like y'all outfit, too. Y'all look kind of cute.
Praise the Lord.
Yeah. I wasn't in the spirit. I was at home, but I changed when I had on my orange, and then I took my orange off. I didn't know y'all were having orange on. I was going to wear my orange. I'll be a pumpkin next week. Well, that's another story. Father, we thank you so much for allowing us to be here. We give you glory and praise and honor. We ask that your word would have a free course in our hearts and lives. In Jesus' name, amen. How many really believe Jesus? Believe in Jesus? How many? I mean, you really believe in Jesus? He is definitely real in your life. Definitely real. Have you ever prayed to him and believed him for something? Yeah. You know, I thought about my wife earlier when the choir was singing, and I was thinking about this message. And she has been a great example of 33 years together, 32 years being married, a great example of being a believer now in my life, in our family. I mean, I'm a little hothead sometimes. Brothers, go ahead and say amen. Amen. Sister, say amen for him.
Amen.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You can leave me out on that island by myself. There's some days, you know, I could be a little hothead. You know, I want it my way, and it's going to be my way. And there's been times I'm like, you know what, I'm through with this mess right here. I'm gone. But I can honestly say in 33 years of being with my wife, she's an exemplification of the Bible to me. Because as much as things go wrong in our house with me, she stayed the same, consistent. She have never said, I'm leaving. I have. That side over there holy. I am. Come over here. I done jumped up. I ain't going. I ain't sleeping in the room with you. I'm going to sleep in another room. Matter of fact, I'm sleeping in another building. But she's never left. She's never even said the words, I'm leaving. She'll even get so mad and still cook dinner. And I'd be so angry eating her food and don't even say thank you because of pride. But she's an exemplification of true holiness to my house. Now, I ain't saying nothing about y'all. Now, she may not be true exemplification to you, but to me, in my house, she has shown me how to have faith. I'm talking about living faith. I ain't talking about word faith. Because, see, some people talk Christianity, but then there's some people that live Christianity. And to see somebody in your house who live holy, not talk holy, but live what they say. And so I can honestly say that she has been a true example. Yeah, I'm promoting her because I got the mic. I run this mic right now. I can say what I want right now. She has been a true exemplification of true holiness in my house. When I didn't believe, even in the children, they got to go. They got to go. I'm tired. I'm sick of this mess. I ain't putting up with this mess no more. Her consistency, her love, her mannerism. Sometimes we even fight back when I'm fighting. When I'm yelling and cussing. This is the cussing crowd over here. When I'm yelling and cussing, she still remained the same. She wouldn't yell and cuss back. I said, they got to go. She wouldn't respond. She would just show love. And that's what we got to learn how to do, is show love, even when other people are wrong. You know, I done seen a lot of wrong in my house, and I've been wrong a lot of times in my house. Let me say that again. I've seen a lot of wrong. I'm talking about my house. I've seen a lot of wrong in my house, and I've done a lot of wrong in my house. I think I need to say that one more time. I've seen a lot of wrong up under my roof, and I've done a lot of wrong up under my roof. And yet the words, "I'm leaving you," never came out of her mouth. Yet the words, "Get out of my house. I don't want to see your face." Never been negative. Even with the children, as wrong as they have been. And she's cried and was in pain with tears, but never said, "Get out." Boy, that's some deep love. That's some rich love. I ain't talking about y'all. Now, she may not have been the best person to y'all, but she ain't been the best person to me either. But I'm talking about consistency. See, that's the thing we got to live with and deal with is consistency. See, some of y'all don't know how to live with consistency. You live in the moment. You know, you've been taught to live in the moment, and your moment, soon as they do something wrong, you through with them. And you don't give a person another chance. Brothers, how many of y'all have had some second chances, third? I'm talking to the brothers right now. 1,500 chances. Sisters, how many of y'all done had some 13,000 chances? Come on now. Children with parents, how many? You ought to run around the building. You ought to run around the building, do some flips. But we've got to learn how to be consistent in loving one another, not be consistent in judging one another.
So good, Bishop.
It's so easy for me to judge you, but it's so hard for me sometimes to love you. You know, I'm learning how to be more mature. The older I get in Christ, you know, those that used to know me on Rock Quarry Road, come on, those that used to. How many of y'all from Rock Quarry Road days? AJ, come on, where y'all at Rock Quarry Road? Y'all know back in the day how to took your tongue and wrapped it around your neck, took your heart out and then showed it to you, then put it back in your chest. I came this close to cussing every Sunday. But now, as I mature in God and get older in the world and get older in the Word, I'm learning some things just don't require my attention. Everything don't require my attention. You know, I can't stand dirty dishes, but sometimes I wake up and there's some dirty dishes. Some things just don't require my attention. I don't like a dirty room, but sometimes the kids would have the room dirty. Some things just don't require my attention. Sometimes I come home from a hard day and I expect a nice hot meal on the stove because you've been home all day, baby. Not even a hot dog boiling. I slammed the door. Some things just don't require my attention. I expect that bill to be paid by you. That's your bill. But I see third notice. And I love my credit. Some things just don't require my attention. So I'm learning how to be loving in a bad situation. Let me say that again. I'm learning how to be loving even in a discomfort situation. Even though I'm the man of my house, some things require a man just to be quiet. Being a man don't always mean you got to say something about what you see wrong. Loving kindness have I drawn you. With love and kindness. With love, the Bible says with love and kindness have I drawn you. My wife didn't win me by rapping, by fussing, by arguing. She won me by loving, being sensitive. And every now and then we remind each other of why we fell in love with each other. You know, some days I can be a little rough around the edges. She say, you wasn't like that 31 years or 32 years ago. And then, of course, me being the man that I am, I'm not going to take what you just said lying down. I got to come back too. Well, you used to be real quiet 32 years ago. know how to take correction these days.
Amen.
There's a lot of pressure and a lot of stress in lives and people's lives today. You're worrying about children. I told my wife last night, I was frustrated about something last night. I said, what I know today, if I'd have knew it when I was dating you, we'd have had a dog only. St. John 11th chapter. Thank God for children, but come on, son. Woo! Child coming to the world 2 years later, they telling you what to do. Come here, Junior. Come here. No. Boy, I was hot this morning. This is my therapy session, y'all. I got up this morning, I got a little puppy at the house, and so I took him out 7 o'clock this morning to go use the bathroom. I opened the door, I feed you. Opened the door, he ran out, used the restroom, turned around, looked back at me. It's cold out there. I got on shorts and a tank top. I said, all right, boy, come on back in here. She looked at me, kept right on going up the hill. I said, hey, come on here. Kept right on walking. Bring your tail on here. Stop, look back, kept right on walking. So I had to go out there in that wet grass, half naked, and I slapped him on the butt. He said, and kept right on, and then took off running up the hill. Now, just last night, I just told my wife what I know now. If I'd have knew it back then, I'd have just had a dog. But this morning, what I know now, if I'd have knew it back then, it's just been me and her. I probably would have got a bird. St. John 11, chapter, verse 1 through 4. We want to talk about believe now. Let's look at some terms. Believe now. Let's look at something about the word believe now. Believe means to accept as true. To accept as true. To have confidence and reliability of something, although without absolute proof. To believe, to have absolute truth to something that you don't have proof to. I believe in Jesus, but I have no proof of him physically. I believe Jesus' words, even though he have not spoken to me audibly face to face, but he's spoken to me. So believe means to accept as true, to have confidence, reliability of something, although without absolute proof. Now, the word now, don't worry about that baby, let that baby gonna be a preacher. The word now means at the present moment, up to date, to describe a new situation immediately, right away. So once again, the word now, right now, at the present moment, up to date, to describe a new situation immediately, right away. So the Bible wants me to believe, to accept right away. To believe right now. You know the key word in Hebrews, the 11th chapter, that we kind of bypass is the word now. We love to go to the part about faith. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. We love to break down the definition of that particular terminology. But the key word to that particular sentence is now. It's so hard, or we'll find ourselves so hard to believe right now. We love to talk about what's going to happen down the road. We love to believe God down the road, but we don't believe God right now. My situation, I believe my situation is bad. Do you believe that you can have a bad financial situation? Let's say, for instance, you broke right now. I mean, you dead broke. You ain't got no money. You know that's now. Well, your situation is telling you broke, but God is telling you you're rich. It's hard to believe you're rich when you know you can't buy nothing. God looks at and talks to us totally different than the way we feel. God operate and act totally different than the norm. We are natural, but God is supernatural. And God wants us to operate in the supernatural, but we fall into the natural. Let's say, for instance, you're mad with your spouse. You're mad for a week. You can't tell me separation don't kind of come across your mind just a little bit. Let me come over here. Separation don't come across your mind just a tab. Y'all ain't talked for 3 days. She ain't cooked from 4. All you get is a Tarzan conversation. Hey, bye. Good night. Oh, she can't say good night? He ain't gonna say good night? So you kind of think about, is this marriage gonna work? They don't want to be with me. They don't want to stay with me. They act like they don't love me. So you kind of start having a little doubt. And then what if you have a sickness? This is what they call cancer month, right? We celebrate what they call breast cancer. Well, I celebrate all cancer. Survivors, we have people in this church who have survived all types of cancer, and then we have people in this church who have passed from cancer. And so we celebrate all cancer, not just breast cancer. So what if you have a sickness, and your sickness is real, but then God tell you you're healed? You got to believe what God say now. We got to stop being Christians that's always looking for the future and believe what God says right now. Let me show you something in John 11 chapter, verse 1. What it says, reader?
Now a man named Lazarus was sick.
Uh-huh.
He was from Bethany, the village of Mary and her sister Martha. This Mary, whose brother Lazarus now lay sick,
Yes.
was the same one who poured perfume on the Lord.
Now, you can be a Christian and still be sick. You have on a filthy flesh body. You have on a flesh outfit that don't like you. It don't like nothing about your soul, and it can't stand your spirit. But your flesh wants to make your spirit worship God, worship another God. So you have to get the word in you and not get the word on you. Just because you dress like a Christian don't mean you're a Christian on the inside. See, Jesus deals with the inside of a person. Man deals with the outside of a person. How you look on the outside, that's what we base you on. But what God do is come and clean up the inside. And man like to see you look good on the outside. Watch what he says.
Now a man named Lazarus was sick.
Yes.
He was from Bethany,
Uh-huh.
the village of Mary and her sister Martha.
Uh-huh.
This Mary, whose brother Lazarus now lay sick,
Yes.
was the same one who poured perfume on the Lord and wiped his feet with her hair.
Yes.
So the sister sent word to Jesus.
Uh-huh.
Lord,
Yeah.
the one you love is sick.
Now, Jesus was around a lot of people, and this is true even to us. Jesus had a lot of people that he hung with. But it was only a select few that he dealt with. Just because I hang with you don't mean I deal with you. And Jesus, he dealt with Martha and Mary and Lazarus, these siblings, these brothers and sisters. He loved to hang with them. He loved to come to their house. They wanted him to come to the house. They made a place for him to sleep over. They showed him great hospitality. So Jesus would be in the field, be out in the streets, witnessing and talking to people grabbing him and loving on him. But he loved to go to Martha and Mary's house because he know he can relax. It's something about being around certain people where you can be yourself. You can't be around everybody because everybody may not can handle e-baby. Some people, you can only deal with Bishop Ellis. Some people can deal with Bishop Ellis and E-Baby. Let me come over here. So watch what it says.
The sister sent word to Jesus.
So the sisters sent word. They sent a servant. Go tell Jesus.
Lord,
Uh-huh.
the one you love is sick.
Now, they didn't say the one that loved you. See, that's so easy for us as humans to say. Jesus, you know I love you. But you know your love can be fickle. You love him because of what he did. But when he don't show up in your time, you'll start backsliding and come to church every now and then. You know, I've seen people in this church, they sing in the choir, they have nothing. They have absolutely nothing, but they sing in the choir. I'm just using the choir as an example. Sing in the choir, and then all of a sudden, they step out the choir, they go to school, they get married, they get a job, they get a house, they get a car, and then they'll step back in the church. So did you sing in the choir to get that stuff? Or did you sing in the choir because you really believe in God? See, we got to stop believing in God when things start blooming. Let me say that again. We got to stop believing in God when things start blooming. You got to believe in God when you see foreclosure, when you see death, when you see sickness. You got to believe in God. But we're humans that love to believe in God when things go well. And then sometimes it don't pay for us to have some stuff because stuff will take us out of God. I done seen too many people who get stuff and then you can't find them. They did good when they was hurting. They were faithful when they were broke. But now they got a little something. They got to travel more. Read, Rita.
The sister sent word to Jesus.
Yes.
Lord,
yes,
the one you love is sick.
The one you love. See, look what they said. They didn't say the one that loved you. Because, see, right now he may be in torment and discord that he don't feel like he really loved Jesus. Because he's questioning Jesus. Why me? Why am I going through this? I've been faithful. Why you hurting me? Why you ain't helping me? Why am I suffering like this? Look at that person over there. They a prostitute. They got 12 children. And look at them. They doing real good. And I'm in the church and I'm suffering. See, that's why they didn't say the one that loved you, Jesus, but it said the one you love. And the reason why they said the one you love, because God ain't fickle. He loved you in spite of. See, the reason why you fell in love with each other was you start off with because of. You love because you look good. You fine. You got long hair. You got muscles. You got a good job. You got a house. You fell in love because of. It down the road, it evolved. All this here, first love at sight. No, you ain't no first love, no sight. First lust at sight. When I saw my wife, I said, wait a minute, now who that? Who that? Got what I'm looking for. But Jesus loved in spite of how wrong you are, consistent. In spite of how dirty you are, he's consistent. We're the ones who are fickle. So that's why they didn't say the one that loved you, Jesus, is the one that you love. Because if we put it back on you, we're going to remind you, you know you love him. And if you love something, you got to do something about it. You don't love something and then stay away from it. When you love something, you miss it. That's why they put it on Jesus, the one you love. Read.
When he heard this.
When Jesus heard that his partner, his buddy, his hangout buddy, was sick.
Jesus said.
What did he say?
This sickness will not end in death.
Look what he tells the servant. He tells the servant, go back and tell Martha and Mary and Lazarus, this sickness that you have will not end in death. Now, why would he say that? Because some sickness will take you out. Some sickness do end in death. Every one of us in this room, some of us ain't going to live to just die in your sleep. Some of us going to die with sickness, and you're still a born-again believer. And God can say, this sickness is unto death. And then he can say, this sickness is not unto death. So we got to believe what he said. Get a word before you get a situation. We all want a situation, but we don't really want a word. If I can just get a word, what you say, God, forget about what my situation say. What do you say? Read.
When he heard this.
When Jesus heard about his boy sick.
Jesus said.
He told the servant.
This sickness will not end in death.
This sickness, you will not die with this sickness.
No.
Ain't that powerful? Now, can you imagine you go home, the servant go home skipping and tell the sisters and tell the brother, hey, man, you ain't going to die. Jesus told us to tell you ain't going to die. Now, you know they believe Jesus' word because they know he's the Messiah. He spent time with them. They seen him raise the dead. They seen him heal the hand, withered hand. They seen him help people's eyes see. So we know you are a miracle-working God. Now it's our time. You done gave miracles to everybody. Now it's our time. Because you are a boy. We know you're going to help us. Can you imagine you get a word with your dead, broke self that Jesus said, guess what? You finna be rich real soon. You know I'm counting. I'm seeking the Lord on this lottery. I ain't gonna be no hypocrite and just play it. I did that before and didn't win. Lord, I gotta know this number came from you. If this number come from you, then that means you want me to leave this church. You know I can't hang with y'all no more. If I won $500 million, I can't come to this church no more. This church gonna be packed. I got to go rent the RBC Center. Everybody want to be my best friend. Touch me, Pastor. Touch me. Lay hands. Touch me. Where's hurting at? Right here. It's hurting right here. What did it say, Rita?
When he heard this, Jesus said, this sickness will not end in death.
This sickness will not end in death. You just got a word that your situation would not kill you. It's not going to take you out. This is a word from Jesus for you to believe. When?
Now.
You got a word from God about right now. But your situation is lasting longer than now. Read.
This sickness will not end in death.
Yes.
No, it is for God's glory.
So this situation that you're going through is for God's glory. What you're going through is for God's glory. God wants to get the glory. So what he has to do in order for him to get the glory and to prove the unsaved folks wrong, he has to sometimes allow things to attack you. Things will attack a Christian faster. The reason why is so that God can get the glory and so the unsaved can see God. Because the unsaved say, I'm suffering, but wait a minute, I thought you go to church every Sunday. I thought you were a tither. I thought you was a giver. I thought you was a believer. I thought you believed in fasting. I thought you believed in going to church and giving. Why are you going through worse than what I'm going through? And that's what God is trying to do. He's trying to get their attention by using you. But you, the Christian, not mature enough, and you don't mind if I put you down just a little bit, not mature enough to understand that God is trying to use you, not destroy you. But he's trying to use you to get somebody else's attention. I'm trying to win somebody through your tears. Because a real believer, a true believer, they're going to get knocked down. Oh, you ain't got to worry. You're going to get knocked down. You're going to get slapped. You can look at me today and say, oh, you look like a drunk. You don't know, I used to be a drunk. Just because my eyes are bloodshot don't mean I'm a drunk today. So what you're doing is trying to call me what I used to be. But your day coming. So you got to quit judging folks based on what you know. See, sometimes God allows people to fall down so he can show you you. Oh, I know what I'm talking about. I've been a hypocrite. Let me talk about Eric. I've been a hypocrite. I done put people down that done got back up. I done put people down who done got healed. But because I know you used to be, I want to go ahead and judge you right now who I think you are. And don't know God done healed you.
Teach, Bishop.
And all God did was just give me a chance to love on you, but instead of me loving on you, I picked on you. And don't know that who I'm picking on ain't you. I'm picking on the God that healed you. And my day coming, oh, I know what I'm talking about. I done experienced some of my days. Go ahead and tell yourself, your day coming too. Oh, I know I shouldn't have came to church today. Jesus told the boy, the servant, go tell Lazarus, he can't move right now, but he ain't going to die. Tell Martha and Mary, he ain't going to die. This is for God's glory. And look how God do. He don't even give you the full manuscript. He just give you a piece of it. All he told you was, you're going to survive. But he didn't tell you what you're going to survive of. Read it.
It is for God's glory, so that God's Son may be glorified through it.
That's all that matters. That's all that matters, that God get the glory. Read.
Now Jesus loved Martha and her sister
Jesus
and
loved
Lazarus. So when he heard that Lazarus was sick,
When Jesus heard his boy, who he loved, was sick,
he
a
stayed.
Christian that's sick. Jesus knew his boy was sick. He knew his boy was going to be sick before he got the word. So no matter what you're going through, you got to tell yourself, this snuck up on me, but it never snuck up on God. I don't like what I'm going through right now, but I know my God got me. That's why you got to believe when?
Now.
Read.
When he heard that Lazarus was sick,
When he heard that his boy was sick.
he stayed where he was 2 more days.
You mean to tell me you did not get up? Jesus, I'm calling on you. And you did not get up to come in and see what's going on in my house? You didn't come and help me? I'm sick. My boy's sick. And you won't come and see? The Bible says he stayed 2 more days. He rested 2 more days. Why did he do that? Let's find out.
And then he said to his disciples,
After 2 days of sitting in the same spot, now he got a word 2 days. Now you got to understand something about this math. I'm going to show you something about this math that don't make sense. The Bible said he got a word, but he waited 2 days. He got a word, but he waited 2 days before he answered. He told the disciples that was with him, hey, y'all, come here. Read.
let us go back to Judea.
Let's go back to Judea, Jerusalem. Yes?
But Rabbi, they said,
Uh-huh.
a short while ago,
Yeah.
the Jews there tried to stone you.
You just left a place that can't stand you.
And yet,
You
you are
just
going
left a
back.
place. You just left a place that want to kill you. And you want to go back there? Read.
Jesus answered,
What did it say?
are there not 12 hours of daylight?
Uh-huh.
Anyone who walks in daylight will not stumble.
Read.
For they see by this world's light.
Yes.
It is when a person walks at night that they stumble.
Uh-huh.
For they have no light.
Now, you know what they're saying right here? This is what Jesus is saying. You see, it's daylight outside, right? That's daylight. Everybody can see in the daylight. But the people that can see in the daylight are the natural. But we as Christians, we see past this. Our light is greater than the S-U-N. The light on the inside, the S-O-N, outshine the S-U-N. So even though they can see their way around in the daytime, they really in the darkness. That's what Jesus was saying. He said, but those who walk in the light, they the ones who really can see. Read.
After he had said this,
What he said?
he went on to tell them,
Uh-huh.
our friend Lazarus has fallen asleep.
Check this out, guys. You his friend. You Jesus' friend. We Jesus' friend. Jesus is telling his boys, hey, our friend Lazarus is asleep. You're going to get it in a minute. Whoever you love and they died, sleep. You call them your family member or your friend, but Jesus say, that's my friend. My friend is resting. You up here crying and you want to celebrate every month, this month, but Jesus say, but that was my friend. And I love my friend more than you loved him. And Jesus said to the disciples, our friend sleep. Read.
But I am going to wake him up.
What you say?
But I am going there to wake him up.
Jesus said he's going to wake up his friend. Read.
His disciples replied,
What did the disciples say?
Lord,
Uh-huh.
if he sleeps.
See, that you're walking in the natural. You're walking in the natural. You don't understand spiritual talk. You got to stay in church. You got to stay in the word. You got to stay in the word. You got to stay in church. You got to stay in church. You got to stay in the word to understand spiritual things. There's so much spiritual reality going on in the world. We don't see it because we want to pace ourselves. We keep pacing ourselves instead of going full force for God. You know you love him, but on your term. You got to love him on his term and chase him because you can see in the daylight and God will tell you, something wrong here. I went to the fair in Jacksonville, Florida one day, and I'm walking in the fair. Me and my wife, she was my girlfriend. And we just going to the fair, taking my girlfriend on a date to the fair. And I walked in the fair and all the lights and games and everything was going on. I looked at my girlfriend, I said, you all right? She said, yeah. I said, you sure? She said, how you feel? I I said, I ain't feeling something wrong here. I don't know what I'm feeling, but I ain't feeling right. I don't feel like this. We should be at this fair right now. She said, well, I'm with you. See, the Spirit of God was letting us know, even though it was bright and pretty, spiritually something wrong here. That's why he said he'll let a friend know what's going on. Some of y'all are in some situations, if you'd have just listened, you wouldn't have been in that situation if you'd have just paid attention to what God was trying to tell you. I told her, I said, come on, let's get out of here. Let's move out of here. Let's go. She's okay. I'm with you. We shot out that fair. We wasn't in there but 5 minutes. And the ticket man said, you just walked in. You know there's no refund for what God is telling us right now. We could care less about that money. We shot on out of there. We shot out of there. We shot out of there. Me and her shot out of there. A couple of hours later, there were some shots. Because God was letting a friend know something ain't right here. I'm in Florida, and we had church service, and my daughter was in New York. My son was in college. And you heard the story before. And I'm a friend of God. And I'm sitting up there praising God, having a good time, and the deaf spirit hit me. I said, oh, God, please, God. I'm looking at my wife. She in the audience. I'm looking at my baby girl. She in the audience. My son in college. My oldest daughter, she in New York. I said, Lord, maybe I'm just feeling something. I ain't got no business feeling this. Let me just shake this mess off. Kept on praising and worship. Deaf spirit kept getting heavy. I said, oh, my God. Lord, come on. I said, well, let me pray for my daughter. She up there in New York for the first time with her wild self. And I started praying for her, and the deaf spirit kept getting stronger. I said, my God. I ain't think about my son because he in college. He doing good. All of a sudden, I said, let me pray for my son. I started praying for him, and the deaf spirit lifted. Right after church, my son called me screaming, Dad. I said, what, son? He said, the guy jacked me. He pointed the gun at me, and it clicked, but it didn't go off. The prayers of the half-righteous. That's why you got to stay. Let me tell you something. Your prayers are more powerful than a bullet. Oh, I know what I'm talking about. We've had situations in my house where we done turned the deaf angel around. We heard the deaf angel was on his way to my house. And me and my wife got together because the Bible says where there's 2 or 3. See, some of y'all, you're just praying by yourself. You need a partner. Tell your neighbor, I need a partner. Prayed, and all of a sudden that deaf angel turned around. And then I get my house back. And then we hear down the road, somebody done died the same way that should have happened in my house. Because the prayers of the righteous turned that mess around. If you don't stay in the word going to stay in you. You got to fight to keep that world mentality out you. Everything don't require you doing a lawsuit. Some things require you get on your knees. Some things don't require you to be, I need to be done right. Some things need to require for you to be righteous. You're so busy trying to get your name in lights to be somebody. You need to treat me right. Sometimes you need to be treated wrong so you can live righteous. I know what I'm talking about. And Jesus tell his disciples, he said, hey, man, my boy, he's asleep. And they tell Jesus, if he's asleep, leave him alone. Rest make people feel better. Watch what Jesus says next.
Jesus had been speaking of his death.
Jesus was talking about Lazarus' death. When Jesus said sleep, he was talking about death. Jesus, you just contradicted yourself. See, it's amazing people who don't know the Spirit contradict the Spirit because the Spirit don't line up with the flesh. What did I tell you the subject was?
Believe now.
Believe. What did he say in verse 1 and 2? He said, this sickness is not unto death. But here it is over in this verse, he says he's dead. Woo! Read.
Verse 14.
Yes.
So then he told them plainly.
He told his disciples plainly.
Lazarus is dead.
Since you don't understand this spiritual talk, let me talk your talk. He dead. You got it now? Now he's dead. since you don't understand spiritual talk, you walking with me, but you ain't really in me. Read.
And for your sake.
And watch this. This is powerful. This is powerful. Jesus says to those disciples, what?
And for your sake.
For your sake.
I am glad I was not there.
Wait a minute, man. You confusing me. You mean to tell me you are going to let me suffer to prove a point to somebody else? I'm letting you suffer because I know you can handle it.
My God.
You don't just believe in next week. You believe when? Now. You like the 3 Hebrew boys in the fiery furnace. Even though, oh king, let me tell you something, king. Before you throw us in that fire, let me tell you something. Our God will deliver us. See how you ought to talk? See how you ought to talk? Somebody talking about firing you. Our God, who we serve, will deliver us. But just in case he don't deliver us, know this. I wish I had some know thises up in the house. My God will heal my body. But if he don't, know this. He will deliver us. Woo! Boy, if that's powerful or what?
Yes.
These boys are getting ready to get pushed in the pit full of fire. And they can feel the heat. They already see death because the men that tried to push them in, the fire leaped over them and burnt them in. Oh, king, let me holler at you for a second. What you want us to do? I want you to bow down to my music. King, we ain't doing that. The God we serve will deliver us out of your hand. But if he don't, know this. We ain't bowing down and we still gonna get delivered. Even if you kill me, that's still deliverance. Oh, Lord, raise him from this sickness. Raise him from this sickness. I thought you asked me to heal him. Yes, Lord, I want you to heal him, but raise him up. That's what I'm trying to do if you get out of the way. I'm trying to heal them because you got to understand something. If I do it your way, they're going to suffer again. But if you let it be done my way. Read, reader.
And for your sake.
Look what he says. He tells the disciples, I'm glad I did not heal Lazarus for your sake. You know what he's saying? You know what Jesus is saying to these disciples? He's saying, where you at right now, you're comfortable. Where you at right now, you got faith for where you at right now. But what I'm trying to give you is faith past that. I'm trying to elevate you past you. Because, see, you ain't got a problem where you at. But what I'm trying to do is show you where you need to be at. Understand this. Pastor Ellis never saw this. Never wanted this. Never wanted this. But I didn't know he was training me up for this. Never wanted to be a pastor, but never knew he was training me for this. All those years of being a servant to my pastor and being picked on and laughed at by my own boys, joking at me, jugging at me, laughing at me, pushing me to the side, but yet I kept coming back. Up there being an usher, welcoming people, come on in, and some of them would push me out the way. I want to sit where I want to sit. You don't tell me where to sit at. Some of them about to cuss me out, but yet I'm still ushering. Then I'm on the camera, working the camera, and somebody told me, you ain't doing a good job with the camera, but yet I'm hanging in there. Then I joined the choir. Somebody said, you can't sing. So I quit. Then I joined the security team, trying to make sure that the church is safe when it's time to take up the offering. And somebody telling me, you ain't doing it right. Then it's time to clean the church. I come up on Saturdays and clean the church, and people stand around, and the bishop already told us, I want this ditch cleaned out. And everybody say, who got a shovel? Who got a shovel? Who got a shovel? Who got a shovel? Nobody had a shovel, but me, Mr. Go ahead and do what the bishop wants. Jump in that ditch. Picked up a cottonmouth, didn't even know it. Cleaned the ditch out with my hands and had a snake in my hand. Didn't know God was training me to face snakes in the church. Doing prison ministry every Sunday for 13 years. talking to death row inmates, maximum security inmates, and some of them stand up 6'6", muscles in their eyebrows, looking like they want to choke my tongue out. Dared me to say another word. Closed my Bible and kept right on preaching Jesus like I ain't care if you killed me. Then my bishop tell me to come in out of the Sunday school class packed with all the ministers. Come here, son. Yes, sir. This is your Sunday school class. There's nobody here. That's right. Now fill it. And don't you steal nobody else's class members. All of that training was for right now. Why don't you be in place so you can be trained for your next level? Because you don't know how God want to use you. But you want to catch an attitude and quit because you can't have your way. This ain't Burger King. This New Restoration. Read them.
And for your sake, I am glad I was not there.
Look what Jesus says to the disciples. I'm glad I was not around to heal Lazarus when you thought I should have. I waited till the situation got worse so I can make you stronger. I want to take you from where you at. I thought I asked you a question earlier. Did I ask you a question earlier? Do you believe in Jesus? You said yes. All right. Do you believe that Jesus want to take you further than where you are? You better not answer that. Do you believe Jesus want to take you further than where you are? Oh, some of y'all didn't answer. Because you know what's coming next. Some tears. Some pain. But I believe in when?
Now.
Up all night. But I believe in. I ain't had a joint since I was 19 years old. But every now and then that joint be calling me. I'm 57 years old and ain't had a joint since I was 19. Weed, for some of y'all don't know what a joint is. I ain't had a weed since I was 19 years old. 57 now, going on 58. And every now and then, weed called me. Ain't had a serious drink. You notice I said serious. Ain't had a serious drink since I was 19. Sometimes the trouble pops up so thick. The frustration comes in my head. The dilemmas that's in my life. Trying to figure out how can I pastor these people and I got this mess going on in my house. What's going on in my head? And yet I want to go and find me the best Southern Comfort and get in the corner by myself and just drink my blues away. I know how to tell you to trust God, tell you to believe in God, but then when trouble hit my house, I ain't got time to pray. Because it look like God ain't going to change it when I need him to. See, you want it changed today. And you got to believe it's changed today. You missed it. Your child may be bad till they're 75. They may not get it till they're 76. You dead and gone. You don't know it. My mama raised me up. She raised me up in the church. She didn't see me saved. My mama didn't see me saved. My mama never saw this. Mama saw me coming in at 3 o'clock in the morning. That's what mama saw. Mama got on her knees praying. When I come in the street, come off the street 3 o'clock in the morning. That's all mama saw. I was respectful. But I went to church when I was little. But when I got older, 16, 17, and daddy in the hospital or daddy dead, now I'm just me and my mama, and she's sick. I ain't got time for no church. Baby, go to church. No, mama, stay here with you. And leave and go outside and play. Baby, won't you go to church? No, mama, no, I ain't, no. Them people at the church fake. Trying to find every reason not to go to church. And I'm standing over mama's bed, and she's dying in my hands. And she can't even talk, but I can see the tears coming down her. And I know what she's saying. Trust Jesus, son. And if mama could see me now. I ain't talking about the car I drive. I ain't talking about the house I live in. I'm talking about the God I serve. Mama, if you could see me now. Your prayers wasn't in vain, mama. You didn't see this, but you believed in this. And God honored my mama. That's why I'm saved. If you just trust in God, God will honor you. The person may not change when you want to see him, but if you believe God, watch what it says.
And for your sake, I am glad I was not there, so that you may believe. But let us go to him.
Now, look, check this out. He tell his disciples, the people that's following him, I didn't heal him 2 days ago because I want you to believe. Now, you know somebody hitting. What are you talking about? We follow him, ain't it? Don't we come to Sunday school? Don't we come to Bible study? Don't we come to intercessory prayer? What is he talking about? Believe. I believe. That's why I keep coming. God said, I know you believe. That's why I want to carry you higher. There's too much in God for you to be where you at. Let me say it again. There's too much in God for you to be where you at. But the problem is, you don't know how to fight you. You know how to give in, but you don't know how to fight. You know, I'm so glad I had a basketball coach in high school. That man was so racist. Good God Almighty. I had the racist white coach ever in history. I think he was Jim Jones' brother or something. I don't know. That man dogged me out in high school. I'm one of the stars. But because I went to an all-white high school, I'm going to prove a point to my white colleagues. I ain't going to let you start. I don't care how much you dog us out in practice. You're going to ride the bench. I'd rather lose the game than to let you play. And yet I came to practice mad and dogged everybody out because I'm mad. And then the next time game time comes, I'm on the bench. Go to practice again the next day. Mad. Dog everybody out. Game time. We lose by 30. I'm on the bench. Playing against boys that I play against in the outside on the court. I'm dogging them outside, and yet I'm sitting on the bench watching them, knowing that I can beat them. All because I got a coach who's racist. But I hung in there for 4 years. I hung in there. I didn't quit. I didn't give up. Did I want to? Yes. Did I want to throw in the towel? Yes. But because of the love I had for the game, if I can't be in the game, I'm going to beat somebody in practice. Somebody going to get it in practice. I try to dunk on everybody, even the coach. Six months ago, my coach, 80-something years old, 6 months ago, his son sent me a text message. He said, hey, man, I told my dad what you're doing. I told my dad you pastoring now in Raleigh, North Carolina. He said, you ain't going to believe what my dad said about you. What'd he say? I bet he's still the same. What'd he say? My dad said, he always liked you because you was a fighter. My dad said, you was one of his favorites. If I was one of your favorites, why am I on the bench? If I'm one of your favorites, why am I sitting down all the time? Why you got this sorry rascal who's slew-footed? Some of y'all don't know what slew-footed is. Some of y'all too young to know what slew-footed is. Go ahead and hit your mama. What's slew-footed? Touch your pops on the knee. Pops, what's slew-footed? He talking about you. All them time, 4 years, I'm angry. 4 years, I'm mad. And 4 years, I got all this gift. 4 years, I got all this talent. And you won't play me? You're messing up my ability to go to college. I put myself through college. I went to the college and tried out and made the team because my coach wanted me to ride the bench. But it didn't stop me from making it to college and even getting an offer to play pro. I didn't give up. Are you listening? I didn't give up in the secular. All that was training to face you. Because God knew some of y'all going to put me on the bench. Some of y'all ain't going to trust me to pray for you. Some of y'all ain't going to trust to pay tithes and give tithes into the church. Son, trust me. Yes, Lord, I trust you. We average about 500-600 people watch us every service. 500-600 people watch us every service. You want to know how many give to the church? 0. Remember that message I preached? What's in your head? 4,000 people watched it, and 0 gave. I got all kinds of text messages from around the world, emails, Facebook messages. Hey, man, you touched me. Hey, man, you healed me. But nobody gave a dime. And that's not stopping me. I'm not chasing $1. I'm trying to heal souls. Don't give up because you're on the bench. Are you listening? Don't give up because you're on the bench. I better stop with that B word. Come on, read.
I am glad I was not there, so that you may believe. But let us go to him.
I'm glad you ain't playing. I'm glad I ain't put you in the game. Because if I'd have put you in the game, you'd have thought you was somebody. I'm glad I ain't let you start. Look at God. God was all in high school. It was God all in high school. Now, it was the white man. No, it was God. Because I'm mature enough to look back now and see if it wasn't for God allowing me to ride the pine, I wouldn't be standing on the pine. Some of y'all need to look back and appreciate where God brought you from. Can I bless you right now? Where you at right now? Where you at right now? Where you at right now that you don't like right now? You're going to look back 10 years from now and say, boy, I'm so kind of glad I went through that right there. I'm glad I went through that right there 10 years from now. But right now, you don't like it. Read. Let's go home.
Then Thomas, also known as Didymus.
Now, I want you to read something right here. And I need you to change your mind. How many of y'all ever heard the word doubting Thomas? You ever heard doubting Thomas? All right, I need you to change your thoughts now. I'm going to mess that philosophy up today. Read.
Said to the rest of the disciples.
Thomas is talking to all of the disciples. He's a spokesman today. Watch what Thomas says to the disciples.
Let us also go.
Let us also go with him.
That we may die with him.
Now, do that sound like doubt? I'm going to die with you, my boy. I'm down with you. You know what? I don't understand why you want to go back to them clowns. They're going to kill you because they don't like you. But since you want to go back, I'm down with you. Come on, y'all. Let's go back and die with him. That don't sound like doubt. If I'm doubting, I ain't finna say that. Come on, somebody. If I'm doubting, that ain't one of my vocabularies. My vocabulary is, hey, home, let him go on up by himself. I ain't ready to die. Let me tell you, sometimes we take things that people say about the Bible and we make it period. Thomas had doubt, comma, but it was not period. Because this right here, that's period. Thomas said, let us go up and die with him. Well, Pastor, what about the part where Jesus walked through the walls and told Thomas, touch, see, feel? He was doubting because Thomas said, I don't believe y'all. Unless I see, then I'm going to believe. Thomas really, that wasn't really doubt. Let me tell you what that was. I want confirmation. Let me prove it to you. Everybody that told Thomas, hey, Jesus got up. You want to know why they was able to tell him he got up? Because they saw him. Thomas said, that's you. I ain't seen him yet. Right now, I don't believe y'all. Jesus walked through the wall, showed Thomas, hey, Thomas, see my hand? Hey, Thomas, see my side? Thomas said, my Lord and my God. Why did Thomas say, my Lord and my God? Because now I see him. You can't live off my prison testimony.
Good, Bishop.
You can't live off my family problems. You got to have your own testimony. What are you struggling with right now? What are you fighting with right now? You can't live off. Let me tell you, devil, what Pastor Ellis went through. The devil said, I know what Ellis went through. I carried him through that. But for you, the 7 sons of Sceva, we adjure you on who Paul called on. The devil said, come here, let me holler at you for a second. Paul, I know. I bricked him. He got up and went right back preaching. Jesus, I know. I put him on the cross. He got off the cross, went in the grave, came out the grave, took my keys, and went to heaven. You ain't fast. You don't go to church. You don't give. You don't love nobody. You don't forgive nobody. You don't trust nobody. You want to know why you all those things? Because I did it to you. So I do know you belong to me. So how in the world are you going to try to cast me out when you're my child? How in the world? See, it's amazing. Only time really many of us want the church and want the pastor is when you're going through something. Get in the hospital and see who you're going to call. Ghostbusters. I've been up under my pastor for 20 years. 20 years I've been up under my pastor. 20. You want to know how many times I went to him for counseling? Once. One time in 20 years. And I didn't know nothing about that Bible. I ain't understand how church people can hurt you like this. I'm from the streets. I'm from where we play ball and we cuss and shoot, but we get back together and drink and party again. We down in the streets, but I ain't understand this church stuff. Church people, y'all different. Y'all shout and clap and give God praise, then you walk by me like you don't know me. Y'all different from my streets that I came from. I know my boy going to cuss me out when I don't pass him the ball. I know he going to get in my face and want to fight. And I'm going to get in his face and want to fight back. But then when the game is over, what's up, dog? I'll see you later. I'll see you next week. Next week. But church folks, y'all won't talk to me for a while. You mistreat my children. You mistreat my wife. Church folks, y'all different. And that's the maturity level I'm at now. I'm learning how to accept your difference. Because I know my God is a rewarder to them that diligently. See, some of y'all ain't diligently seeking him. You diligently bother me. And so I got to go in my closet and cry and push my gun a little further up under the bed. Let's go home. What does it say, Rita?
On his arrival, Jesus found that Lazarus had already been in the tomb for 4 days.
Lazarus was in the, that's my math. I can't figure that math part out. I can't figure that math part out. Maybe somebody can help me later. Jesus got word 2 days ago, but when he get there, he been dead for 4. I can't figure that math part out. But however it is, it is. Read.
Now Bethany was less than 2 miles from Jerusalem, and many Jews had come to Martha and Mary to comfort them in the loss of their brother. When Martha heard that Jesus was coming,
to town,
she went out to meet him.
This is going to get interesting. She ran outside to meet Jesus. What happened?
But Mary stayed at home. Lord, Martha said to Jesus.
Check this out. You better listen carefully. Martha said to Jesus, what?
If you had been here.
If you had been now.
My brother would not have died.
Read.
But now I know.
Now, check this out. Check this out. Martha preaching a little bit here now, but Martha's still limited in her maturity. Martha said, if you had been here, my brother wouldn't have died. But now, even right now, Martha didn't believe in what she said. She just said it. Right now, whatever you say, God answer. You got to stop being controversial. Believe the word. Quit believing you. I don't understand me. When I try to understand me, I get confused. When I try to make my way the way that I want it to go, I fall in the ditch every time. But when I follow Jesus, who don't make sense to me at all, Jesus do not make sense to me at all. That's why he told me, he said, listen, son, before you try to figure me out, let me help you with something. My ways are different from your ways. He said, let me give you an example. Look up. What now? He said, that's how high my ways are from yours. You can't reach the sky, and you can't reach my ways. You're so busy trying to figure me out. Just accept me now. Read.
But now I know that even now.
Listen, some of y'all wouldn't be saved if I hadn't followed Jesus. Many of you wouldn't even be in church if I hadn't followed Jesus. The critics told me from Florida, don't you go to North Carolina. You stupid. You got a great job working at American Express. You about to become a firefighter. You got all this money coming in. You just bought a brand new house. What are you doing going to North Carolina to start a church? I don't know either. You got a brand new house sitting on the water and the golf course. You got a great paying job. Your wife got a great paying job. What are you doing, Mr. Stupid? Don't know. But God told me to go to North Carolina. And do what, Mr. Stupid? Start a church. All these sinners in this town called Jacksonville, Florida, why you got to go to North Carolina and go start a church? That don't make sense to me. Don't make sense to me either. Let me go talk to my wife. Baby, what? Oh, Jesus, help me. Baby, you know the Lord told me to go to North Carolina. Yep. I know you're going to do it. You don't love us. You're going to leave here and go start a church. Baby, it don't make sense to me. Leave your brand new house and go stay in a trailer park. Don't make sense to me. Then my wife finally quit her job and come up here with me, and we go get an apartment, and every time it rains, leeches this long coming up under the kitchen door. It don't make sense to me. 5 of us in the house, 3 bedrooms with 1 bath, and we stand in line. Don't make sense to me. When I just left a 4-bedroom house and 3 full baths. Don't make sense to me. Don't make sense to me. Leave my good paying job and then go start a church in community center and nobody show up but just me and my family. Don't make sense to me. But look at me now. If you quit trying to make sense of this thing, I promise you, follow me as I follow him. Because even today, I still get worried. Even today, I'm still nervous and scared. Even today, I walk around and drive around, God, give me something, and I get nothing. But every time I take a step, I'm successful. Every time I tithe, I'm successful. But when I sit down and look at the tithe and say, I can't afford it, I stop looking at it saying, it makes sense to pay this bill off, but let me take care of it. Yes. I said I believe him. Yes. I said I believe him. Let me believe him with what I have. Isn't it amazing? You can take prayer out of school, but you can't take in God we trust off of money. Because the love of money, everybody wants it. Me and my wife, we be sitting down thinking about the money we can make, and then every now and then I have to catch myself. Hey, calm down. What? I said, no. I'm going to mess around and chase that. We're doing real good. We living comfortable. We all right. Well, we can. I know. We living from paycheck to paycheck. That's comfortable. Somebody gonna get it after a while. That ain't comfortable. See how secular you're thinking? I'm living comfortable. I can still turn my lights on. I can still open my refrigerator. I can't go to the fair, but I can fare my way into my kitchen. I found out I ain't got to buy corn dogs at the fair for $2.50. All I got to do is get me some old grease. And go to Sam's and get them same ballpark fair corn dogs. Me and my wife was at the fair about 4 years ago, because we ain't been since. Been about 4 years ago. And we got our corn dog. We was in line getting the corn dog. Yeah, put some mustard on it. Put some ketchup on it. Give me some french fries. Give me a bottle of water. $12 just for me. Now my wife wants something else. Hers $14. We done spent $26 off of 2 corn dogs, order fries, soda, bottle of soda. I got to pay $2 for a soda, my water, and her soda's $3 for the soda. We just enjoying ourselves. And so we decided, I said, baby, let's take a shortcut behind this vendor machine. We took a shortcut, and there was a box of trash. All on was Sam's corn dog. I said, wait a minute. You mean to tell me we done spent $5 for 2 hot corn dogs when we could have bought a box for $8 and get some old grease? We ain't been back since. Because we found out the fair bought them same corn dogs where you shop at. And then they mix stuff up, and you go and try a fried Snicker ice cream. You know ice cream can't be fried. Come on, brothers, let's go home. Come on, brothers. A doggone hot dog, a Snicker fried, a fried Oreo. I tried that one time at my house. It melted. Check this out. I'm in right here. Read it.
But I know that even now, God will give you whatever you ask.
Yes.
Jesus said to her, your brother will rise again.
Put that in your spirit. Jesus said, your situation will change. Read.
Martha answered.
Martha said,
I know he will rise again in the resurrection at the last day.
Check this out. Martha is talking about an event. Martha is talking about the future. Watch what Jesus says back to Martha.
I am the resurrection and the life.
So what you're talking about is what's going to happen. Jesus is talking about what is happening. You keep talking about an event. Jesus is talking about a person. What verse is that, reader?
Verse 25.
Read that one more time and let these people get out of him.
Jesus said to her.
Read verse 24.
Martha answered, I know he will rise again in the resurrection at the last day.
Martha is talking about an event. What's going to happen down the road. Watch what Jesus say to contradict her.
I am the resurrection and the life.
You keep trying to tell me about down the road. I'm trying to tell you about I am. I'm trying to tell you about a person. You want to talk about an event. You don't come to have an event at church. You come to have a personal experience. That's why you don't come to church like you should, because you ain't having no personal experience. You keep coming to have an event. How was church, baby? It was all right. It was all right. It was all right because it was an event to you. But when somebody comes to that altar and start crying, somebody sitting in the seat next to you saying, oh, thank you, Jesus, I needed that. See, that was personal to them. But to you, it is an event. If it ever become personal for you, you'll change. But as long as this church is an event, where you going? Well, I'm going to go check out New Restoration. That's an event for you. Why I keep coming to church when I want to quit? Why do I keep tithing when I want to keep my money? Why do I keep forgiving when I want to hate? Why do I turn down liquor when I want to drink it? Why do I turn down weed when I want to smoke it? Why do I keep coming to church even when ain't nobody here? I just want to come to church. Because this is personal to me. If it ever become personal to you, then you won't talk about down the road. Have patience with me, Doc. I ain't there yet, because you ain't personal with God yet. You can't tell me I ain't personal. I pray to him every night. We ain't talking about what you do at night. We talking about what you do in his house. You got to understand something. Jason by itself is just Jason. But when I come over there and join Jason, fellowship. Now we got fellowship. And when we fellowship, we enjoy one another. Brother Ed would see it. Brother Ed would say, let me come over there and join y'all too. Now, guess what happened? Now we got fellowship. But when it's an event to you, what he doing up there? Well, he's saying about offering bucket. Event make you doubt and challenge folks. Personal, you can know this man may be cheating on his wife. You can know it. But because I made it personal to receive him, by him staying connected to me, it may change him from cheating. But an event to you make you say, Don't pastor know who's standing next to him? And you may know something about Jason. But because I made it personal, my walk with Jesus is personal. If I make it personal about them, man, get with me. You clowns. Because now I made it personal about you. But when I make it personal about me and my walk with Jesus, come on, bro, come on. What we gonna do today? Man, I'm going fishing. Man, I don't do no fishing. I don't like fishing. I catch it and you clean it. Jason said, I don't like that boat. Well, let's find something else to do because we can't leave Jason out. Jason, what you like to do? I like to play checkers. Man, nobody play no checkers. We joking and fellowshipping with one another because I'm personal with Jesus. Now, guess what's going to happen? Guess what's going to happen down the road? I'm going to step on his toes. Guess what's going to happen down the road? He's going to step on mine. But because I done made it personal with Jesus, man, Jason, man, that clown stepped on my toe and didn't even say he's sorry, man, got my money and won't even pay me my money, man, that clown. But because me and Jason, 2 is better than 1. Jason can talk. Hey, man, I know, man. Come on, calm down. Let him come on back in. Jason, man, he owe me money. Man, I know, man. Come on, just let it go. I ain't letting nothing go. Jason, man, you don't want to see the brother go to hell over that money, man. Let it go. Man, come on. You're my dog now. You're my dog, but I want you to know something. You ain't getting no more money. You got to have a personal walk and not an event walk. Father, forgive us of every sin. Father, come into our lives. Save our souls. Change my mind. Change my heart. I believe that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. Father, I got ways about me that I like. I like certain ways about me. But God, you want me to go higher. You want me to climb higher. And God, I just heard a word today that's taught me I got to go past myself. Father, I want you to get past me. I want you to do what you want to do through me and not let me be me. Whatever you want to do, God, to get through me, let your will be done. Let me see the love of Jesus in my house. And let me exemplify the love of Jesus in my house. Father, let me be a blessing to somebody else and not always looking for somebody to bless me. But I can't wait to go shake somebody's hand. I can't wait to go greet somebody I never met before. God, I'm going to start today. Today going to be my change. And I know that once I change, you're going to give me everything I need right now. Father, bless my going out, bless my coming in, and bless my offering. Allow it to be an upkeep to the ministry. Allow it to go towards the upbuilding of the ministry to help out. Lord, we pray for Florida. We pray for Wilmington. Lord, our 2020, the extra $20 we give every month is a blessing. We're sending money to Wilmington. We're getting ready to send some money to Florida. It's devastation. God, it could have been us. God, we sit down in this valley, this little wooden church. God, for the last 10 years, we've been sitting in this little valley, and water been rushing down that hill. And God, you never let it come through the building. This little church, this little wooden church, God, we saw building structures made out of brick and made out of steel, 18-wheelers turned upside down, buildings roof ripped off, and this little wooden building right here is still sitting. God, we got a place to worship. We don't know, God, how long we're going to be here. We don't know how long this building going to be here. We could be next. But God, help us to have a building on the inside more than a structure on the outside. Help us, God, to be prepared for whatever may come our way. We're prepared. But God, as we bless other churches and bless other cities that's underwater and hurting, remember us when our hurting days come. Bless every woman, every man, every child up under the sound of my voice. I want you to bless them like never before. God, I want them to see and recognize the prayer that's prayed for them today, let it come to pass this week. Let a supernatural miracle happen to everybody under the sound of my voice. Let them see the miracle. Let them touch the miracle. Let them experience the miracle. And God, but let them come back with a testimony that it was God that did it, not me. Now, Father, we thank you now. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.